All right, so here we are. I'm in the engine compartment of the boat. The engine's sitting right in front of the car here currently. This is something I wish I would have known from the onset. So this is probably gonna be a separate standalone video. I am installing 2 PSI residual brake pressure valves in my front brakes. The reason I am doing that is this car, from the get-go, I've been building this car so that I can go out and I'm gonna autocross it. Autocrossing, if you're not aware of what that is basically like a small little road course they set up and each car runs it for time. It's one car on the track at a time. And it's basically just like cone patterns in a parking lot. So, with the intent of autocrossing this thing, I've made it handle as best I could. And I've also installed 4-wheel Wilwood disc brakes on this car. I have a Wilwood master cylinder here. I contacted Wilwood when I was doing this car, told them these are the front brakes of yours that I'm using, these are the rear brakes of yours that I'm using. What master cylinder should I use? They told me. They are 100% spot on. It is a perfect master cylinder for the brakes I have. I wish they would have said something about, hey, you might want to put residual pressure valves in the system, because doing this from the onset when the whole front end of the car was off the car would have been significantly easier than doing it now. And I don't know that I'd be able to do this, at least not very easily, if the engine was still in the car. So, engine's out, time to do it. What these do is these are going to get plumbed in line for each line that goes to my front brakes. All they do is keep 2 PSI of pressure inside those lines as opposed to 0 PSI, just gravity fed. Because what's happening is when I go into a corner really hard in this car, the front brakes, I don't know if there's some flex going on or if it's just centrifugal force on the 6 pistons that are in the front calipers. But they are loosening up just a bit, I mean, just a little bit. And what it's causing is excessive brake pedal travel the next time I go to get on the brakes. It's about maybe an inch more travel than normal, but when you're hauling corner to corner and you go to get on the brakes and there's nothing there when you expect there to be something there, there's a little pucker factor. So these should hopefully resolve that issue. And once I get this car back together, after I get other things taken care of, I will absolutely report back and tell you if this actually did the job. Assembled rotor. But in the meantime, I have to disconnect my 2 front lines here, and since I don't want just to have brake fluid drain everywhere, I'm going to empty the front portion of the master cylinder here. Which I really like Wilwood's products. Their brakes are fantastic, but these Allen screws that hold the master cylinder cap on, while they look good, are not ideal for pulling this thing off and checking your fluid, or in this case, opening it up so that I can drain it without it leaking all over my frame and everything else. It's got paint. By the way, if you don't know, brake fluid is very caustic and it'll eat through paint. So if you drip it on something that you care about the paint on it, clean it off. All right. That was sealed nice and tight. All right, here we go. Come on out of there. this over here out of the way for now. I will clean all that up in a bit. But right now, I need to drain the front portion of this master cylinder. So, factory brake systems, a lot of times, if it's a disc brake, drum brake car, a lot of times the disc brake portion of the master cylinder is the rear. On this one, it's actually the front. All right, that is as empty as it's going to get. Set this down here, and I'm going to climb out and get that out of the way before I knock it over and ruin my paint. So now I need to pull both of those front brake lines off. But before I do that, I'm gonna get some paper towels here, because I have a pretty good inclination that that thing is going to drip a little bit. All right. So the way this master cylinder is set up is it actually comes with an adjustable proportioning valve, which means you can adjust how much of your braking goes to the front brakes versus the rear brakes. It's got a big knob on it back here. Not sure if you can see that. There's a knob right there that is adjustable. You just turn it and test drive the car, keep doing that until you get it set up to where you've got the front rear bias the way you want it. So for now, I already did all of that. Now I just need to get in here and as I suspected, there is brake fluid leaking out. But it's coming down here to where I've got my paper towels. It's just gonna follow the line down. So what I'm gonna end up having to do in here, once I get the valves installed, is I'm gonna have to cut and flare the existing brake lines, shorten them so that they fit properly, which is not easy to do in the car. It'd be much easier out of the car. There's my wrench. Man, that is not an easy one to get to. All right, there it goes. Yep. All right. All right. Set that down. All right. Cannot see what I'm doing. Come on. This is part of the reason. If you've never done brake lines, it can be a pain in the butt to start. You gotta get the angle exactly right, which is hard to do when you got something dangling off the end of it. And as much as I don't want to get brake fluid all over me, I think I'm probably gonna have to take my gloves off. All right, rear one is started. So now I just need to tighten it. All right, where did I put that wrench? There it is. nice and tight. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is angling them a little bit, like that. That way I can get to them a little easier down here, and then I can bend them back. All right, next one. Much easier to do without gloves on. By the way, these residual pressure valves do have they're one way as far as doing their job. The fluid flows both directions, but it only works to retain pressure one direction. So when you're putting them in, make sure you put them in with the master cylinder side to the master cylinder, and then the brake side to the brakes. All right. There we go. Now I need to figure out how short I need to make these lines here. And I'm not looking forward to doing the flare in here. This is gonna suck. You know what? I'm gonna pull that Allen screw out, and that will allow me to move these lines around a little bit, get a little more room to work. Let's see here. Let's figure out my cut though first. Right there. I do not have anything to mark it with, I don't think. All right, that worked. Okay, got those both marked. So now, did I bring my cutter over? Of course I didn't. Why would I do that? All right, I need my line cutter, and might as well get the flare tool while I'm at it. All right, let's see. Let's get, oh, I didn't grab the Allen wrench to get that. Oh well, I think I can. No, I'm gonna need it. Damn it. All right, let's get this thing off of both of those. There we go. All right, now I can move these around a little more. Get enough room to spin this on that. All right. All right. Shit, oh, there it goes. This is a little bit different than the one I normally, it's a lot different than the one I normally use. I normally use the Eastwood one, which is, if you've ever had to make lines, or if you do it on any kind of regular basis, you owe it to yourself to buy the one from Eastwood. So when I mentioned the Eastwood flaring tool, this is the thing I'm talking about. It's a full kit, it does all kinds of stuff. It's super easy to use. The only problem is you can't just use it in the engine on the car in the engine compartment. It's designed to be used in a vise, but it's awesome. That is not like this. This is a little one to work on it somewhere, you know, where you don't have a lot of room. Does it have any mark on it? Of course it doesn't. So this is gonna create a double flare. This is a slow, time-consuming way of doing it, but there's a couple things. It beats having to buy a line that's already pre-done, and it beats having to take the line out of the car when you've got a functional operating car to go work on it. Come on, work that time. Oh, it's feeling a little better. Like it might have actually done something. It did. So now, take that off, put this back on, and do the same thing again, but without the little adapter. Now it'll complete the flare. That first part does creates kind of like a little bubble at the top of the line, and then when you come back with this part, it flares it open. And there you go. So then this fitting comes up here. Easy, huh? All right, get that one out of my way and pull this one out here. Fitting down below, fitting is below. All right, let's get that out of my way. Let's get this out of my way. Holy cow, that is the easiest I've ever had one of those go in. I need 12, 4, 5, where's my 3/8? There it is. Ah, there's one. No. Okay, well, I figured I'd be fighting these for a while. Now, I'm having fairly good luck with this. If there was an engine in here, it'd be a totally different story. Let's get the camera out here, the old handheld, show you what we got going on in here. All right, so you have master cylinder, which comes out from the master cylinder, goes into the proportioning valve, which you can see right there. There's the knob on the proportioning valve right there. And then the lines come out of the proportioning valve. There's two lines for the front. And I think you can even see that one's got an FO, front out. And then there's actually an RO. Let's see if I can get it on camera. See, there's a rear in and a front in. Front out, and yeah, you can't really see it. I can't get an angle on the rear. But anyway, so the two front lines come out, drop down into these Wilwood 2 PSI residual brake pressure valves, and then the lines continue on and go to the front brakes. You can see down there, I got a some bare steel that's got a little surface rust on it. That was all nicely painted until brake fluid dripped on it. So when I tell you brake fluid is caustic, I'm not kidding if you didn't already know that. If you've been working on cars for a while, you already knew that. So that's it for the residual brake pressure valves. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, if you actually made it this far. And remember, please like, share, and subscribe. Any hope for this channel to grow is going to be because you folks share it. So thank you much, and see you again later.